Hello everybody, my name is Brent Agin. I'm a physician here in Clearwater, Florida, and this is officially the first Q&A that we have had. Been thinking about doing this because we always get a lot of questions about wellness medicine, especially because it's very different than traditional medicine. And so we had a couple questions already that people have asked, some of our clients, and so I wanted to address those, go over a few things that are important for you guys to understand, especially in this wellness sector. And then talk a little bit about some of the things that we have going on with our company to help improve the services that we provide for you guys. So again, thank you for listening, and we are excited to hopefully grow this community because the wellness community is one that is important, and I think we especially have all seen that over the last couple of years, and that we really need to focus heavily on our health and wellness as it pertains to not just health but also our personal lives. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is Kispeptin. So everyone, if you haven't heard, our government continues to look at certain therapies that we have provided successfully in the past, and they're calling them or terming them called biologics. And what that means is that about 7 years ago, we knew that the government was going to evaluate peptides and some of the therapies out there to determine if they were safe to be prescribed in a setting without more pharmaceutical research. And so of course they've allowed us to use these over these years, and then they're slowly pulling them back and calling them biologics, even though that some of them are FDA approved in other areas of medicine. So yes, it seems a little odd, and of course for medical doctors that practice in these areas of medicine, it's unfortunate. So HCG, they did pull off our abilities to prescribe at least from compounding pharmacies, and so what we have done is prepared ourselves for this. We figured that this was going to come, so we started exploring some alternative therapies, and one of them is called Kispeptin. And so just so you guys know what Kispeptin is, it's very similar to the way HCG works. So HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin, is a hormone that normally is associated with pregnancy, but it is actually a fertility product that is used for both men and women with fertility specialists. And why that is because it mimics the hormone luteinizing hormone, which is sent from your pituitary gland down to your gonads, either the ovaries or the testicles, and that's why it's called a gonadotropin. So by mimicking the luteinizing hormone and stimulating the ovaries and the testicles, you can get some stimulation of the production of either testosterone in men or estradiol or progesterone in women. And so that's why really HCG was such an important product, and people liked it so much, was that it made change in our hormones that are positive, and women feel good on progesterone, and men feel better with a stimulation of testosterone. So looking at Kispeptin is a neuropeptide hormone that actually causes the release of gonadotropin releasing hormone, GnRH. That comes from the hypothalamus, and it goes down to the pituitary again and causes a release of both luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. So you can see there's a lot of similarities to HCG. The good thing is that we've had many men that have used Kispeptin over the last 6 months, and they really like it. Some of them report that they actually have higher levels of libido, but as far as the stimulation of testosterone, it seems to be extremely similar. Now, as we look at women, women have also used it, and they've used it successfully as well. There's just not as much data talking about the usage or alternating the usage of HCG and Kispeptin, but there is a lot of research coming. And one research article on Kispeptin actually showed why there might be some association with increased libido. And it's not just in men, it could be in men and women. And that's what's really interesting, is because the way Kispeptin signals in the hypothalamus, they're finding that it also can signal in other areas of the brain, and they're finding that these other areas of the brain happen to be affecting arousal, relationships. Sometimes if people are having sexual arousal disorder, it takes away that aversion, actually can promote relationships. And so again, they're going to be looking at Kispeptin and some of the other molecules of Kispeptin as a fertility treatments as well. So when you kind of understand everything that I'm saying about Kispeptin and then what I said about HCG, you can see that we still have a really nice opportunity to replace the HCG with Kispeptin. And I'm not worried, and I do feel that people that make that switch aren't going to have really any drop in the results, but maybe actually enhanced results just because of the information that we're getting on how Kispeptin works in the brain. So, so just know that this is available. As doctors and compounding pharmacists, we're all talking all the time about some of the issues we're having with the government making these rash decisions about how they're going to use and change our ability to prescribe some of these therapies that are so important for our wellness. But that brings me to the next point, is lifestyle. And so when we're talking about hormones and we're talking about lifestyle, that's kind of how we start putting the two together, because a lot of people were using HCG specifically for weight loss. And I get it, and it's important to understand that the reason the government had an issue with HCG was so many doctors out there were using it in weight loss clinics, and some of them inappropriately. And what that means is the HCG diet, although successful for a lot of people, utilized a calorie intake of about 500 calories, which is not sustainable. I'm very familiar with the HCG diet. I'm not very big fan of 500 calories. People can do it, but you can't do it for more than 30 days. And some of these doctors' offices were leaving people on HCG continuous at this 500 calories, which you're not improving someone's health. Nobody should lose weight and worsen their health. I mean, weight loss has to be done in a way that's actually impacting your health positively. And so just understanding that this weight loss connection with HCG is a fertility drug. It's been proven. It actually can affect our hormones. The hormones that it affects can affect our metabolism. So we do understand that HCG and Kispeptin can affect metabolic output and therefore can be beneficial for people that are trying to lose weight. We just have to look at the calorie counts and just make sure that you're not getting too low of calories, because you need calories to sustain your muscles and sustain your health. And so, but it does bring a good point about lifestyle, is that, lifestyle is really the medicine we're speaking of. And so a lot of the therapies that we have available that our doctors prescribe for our clients are all going to work better the better your lifestyle is. So these are all products that if you're working to improve your lifestyle, or if you already have a lifestyle in place, these are going to assist in that, but sleep, diet, and exercise are the most important things you can do on your own. They're free for the most part, and that is what's going to drive everything in your health. All these other products are just going to be adjuvants to getting you to where you want to get to from a health perspective. So just realize that sleep, diet, and exercise are things that we have. We have a lot of therapies for that. We have our Carb Rub program that is science-based for both carb cycling and intermittent fasting, which is amazing. So and we have therapies that help with sleep, and then obviously exercise is an important thing that you have to do on your own. My personal preference is interval training, so we can just make sure that you guys really think about the lifestyle and that you have a lot of attention on that, and just don't think that these products are magically going to create wellness for you. So hopefully that makes sense. But again, the good news is that we still have Kispeptin, but I really had to make a mention about lifestyle, because I think that everybody is going to get way better results on all of these different therapies that we talk about and utilize at TeleWellness MD. So just remember, if you don't have the lifestyle in place, if you don't have a good sleep cycle, if you don't have exercise down, we're going to start having these conversations, or you guys can ask questions so we can specifically answer them as it pertains to lifestyle. Another good thing is about the new website. So we are always trying to improve our services for you guys, because in the wellness community, again, there's only a small amount of doctors that are practicing in wellness. Traditional medicine continues to dominate, and so I just want everyone to know that providing a telemedicine service with a wellness focus is to give you guys access to some of these therapies that most doctors aren't aware of. So we keep trying to make updates and do things to our site, and and I'm just got a quick question there. I'm going to come back to our site here, but someone just asked if we will be able to purchase HCG for weight loss after today, and the answer is no. Unfortunately, we're not able to prescribe it anymore, but we do have Kispeptin, and so if you're not able, in just like I mentioned before, HCG is not the only way to lose weight. If that was the case, everyone would not be overweight at this point. There's no magic pills, I can promise you that. All HCG does really for weight loss is it can help with appetite because it works centrally, but the big thing about it is what we know is it's what it's doing to your hormones. And you can do stuff to your hormones without HCG. You can use Kispeptin, you can improve your deep stages of sleep, you can start an exercise program, and I love more than HCG diet and low calorie, like it's called a VLDL, very low calorie diet, is intermittent fasting. And there's so much information out there on intermittent fasting, and intermittent fasting is an eating strategy, not a diet, which is what I love also. I tell patients not to get on a scale, not even to look at a scale, because once you adapt intermittent fasting and you understand it and your body starts to adapt to it, it becomes one of the most powerful appetite suppressants, and also it becomes one of the best ways to lose weight over time, which is the healthy way. So you don't look at it as a diet, it's you figure out how to do the eating strategy. The weight will come off as your body starts to change from a sugar burner to a fat burner, which is called fat adaptation. So don't be upset if you can't get HCG for weight loss, because again, you have Kispeptin that you can use in place of it, but more importantly is that you find other options than just really going too low of calorie to get weight loss, because what happens is you get rebound weight gain. So just be careful about that. But yes, we unfortunately are not going to be able to prescribe HCG after this point. So back to our dashboard. Again, we are always trying to update and improve our services, and so we are really excited to be launching a new version of our site. It's going to be a lot more user-friendly, a lot easier to navigate. Our other site had so much information, but I love information and I love education and I love creating content because, again, this is medicine that you don't hear about when you're going to a traditional doctor. So someone just asked again about HCG. HCG is no longer available because the government has called it a biologic, and which means that there has to be extensive research to support its use, even though it's FDA approved for fertility. It just can't be used from a compounding pharmacy just because some people were falsely claiming how it would cause weight loss. Got another quick question. How do you pick the hours of intermittent fasting? Example is 16/8. Well, the most of the science is on 16/8. Our carb rev program is based off of a 16/8, and what that means is you do a 16-hour fast and an 8-hour feeding window. And it is an amazing appetite suppressant, and it's so much science based on what it can do for increasing the brain proteins in your that help regenerate your brain and cause it to function good, as well as circadian rhythm, which is sleep, decreasing inflammation, improving insulin sensitivity. So intermittent fasting has science to support why it's a good eating strategy. And if people are worried about that 16-hour fast, you have to remember also that 16 hours includes when you're sleeping. So that you basically, a very common use of it is you stop eating at 8, you do your first meal at noon, that's 16 hours, and during that time, you can still have breakfast in the form of healthy fats, but it has to be limited, and so that's why it's important to have some sort of a brochure or information so that you can follow it correctly. Because if you don't follow that correctly, just one little snack, one little drink in the evening can break your fast, and you're not going to get the same results. So 16/8 is a good one, but sometimes people will start at 12 hours for 1 week, go to 14 hours for 1 week, and then go to 16 hours. And that really depends on how heavy you are on carbohydrates and how many calories you are eating. Some people talk about when people start a ketosis type diet, a continual ketosis, that they can have something called the keto flu. When you're doing intermittent fasting, it's not as common for people to feel that sick during that time. So don't be afraid to start right out of the gate with a 16/8, but you can graduate to that. Let's see here. All right, so I think in the next probably 2 weeks, you guys are going to see. I think we're targeting November 14th for you guys to see the new website. It's going to have less information and just be more functional. We still are going to have educational resources, and we will have. We are actually creating another site that is going to be just information for you guys. But we're going to start doing these more often so that we can actually have more dialogue with you guys. Oh, wait, I just found out, sorry. The last day to order HCG is today, so you can actually still get it prescribed today through telewellness. I apologize about that. As tomorrow you no longer be able to put a prescription in for it. So that was my mistake. So anyway, so with our new, with our new dashboard, you're gonna start our new website. You're gonna see how easy it is for you guys to get through the prescription process. Not all the drugs necessarily need to have a doctor consultation. They just need to be reviewed based off of your medical history. So these are some features that we've learned and improved on. But so that's really excited, and there's also going to be an availability on your dashboard to see where Kispeptin's available, and we'll also put a link in the comment. So for you guys that are interested in the Kispeptin, I don't want you guys to lose continuity, because HCG is a product that I used for many years myself. And so I was a little disappointed, but I have also tried Kispeptin, and so I'm telling you guys, I didn't feel any difference at all using either one. So it was really nice that, and I did that test right when we heard that HCG might no longer be available. And so again, you can order that with confidence. If you guys are having any issues or questions while you're doing Kispeptin, we have full-time medical support. So you guys can call us if you have any questions, or if there's anything that's different while you're using the Kispeptin that had happened when you're using HCG. Just let us know, and we'll be able to help you guys out. And there's a question about frequency of Kispeptin. So you'll see that one's, it's just like HCG. You're going to have a little bit of variations in the amount that you inject. It's still going to be a subcutaneous injection, but depending on what you're using it for, there's a couple different routes of administration. And so just when you put the prescriptions in, or you have your consultation, if needed, our medical support can talk and find out exactly what you're going to be using it for. If you're going to be using it like HCG, we can dose it very similarly just based on how they work. Some people like taking it 5 days a week in a smaller dose, and then some obviously will like taking it 2 to 3 times a week. So we can make some adjustments, and again, you just have to talk to our medical support, and we can make some changes in the prescription based on what would be most important to you. And someone's asking about Kispeptin again, so I'm just going to touch on that really quickly. And so Kispeptin works very similar to HCG. It's basically stimulates the production or the release of gonadotropin-releasing hormone from the hypothalamus. That triggers luteinizing hormone and follicle-stimulating hormone. Luteinizing hormone is exactly how HCG works. So then luteinizing hormone gets a release from the pituitary gland, and then goes down to, and it's called a gonadotropin. So then it goes down to the ovaries and the testicles and stimulates the release of estrogen, progesterone, or testosterone in men. And someone's asking about immune function, and yes, they're looking at a lot of things with Kispeptin, because they found that the signaling isn't just on the hypothalamus, that it can have improvements, and not only in the immune function, but definitely in sexual behaviors as far as relationships, sexual desire, and even energy. So that's the good news, is that we're gonna be bringing out a lot more information about Kispeptin as we get more, because we're actually relying some on the pharmacies as well to help us with data, and we're going to be getting a lot of feedback in the next 2 to 3 months on how people are doing on it, especially women, because we already have a lot of women that are starting it. So that's exciting. And let's see. All right, so that was the last question. Oh, let's see. Oh, can can you save the continuous? Yeah, so Kispeptin is going to be like HCG. I mean, I was on HCG for 8 years straight. I'm still using HCG. You know, these are safe therapies, and they've been used for many, many years. And so I think there's going to be a lot of really exciting things coming out from Kispeptin, especially now that HCG is not available. So we just have to wait for some of these research to be concluded. But anyway, so this was the first Q&A with myself. As you can see, I like to talk about wellness, and I think it's important that you all continue to get your questions answered. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. This is the only type of medicine I've practiced, and I would just like to tell you guys again, focus on your lifestyle, but don't be afraid of Kispeptin, and please send me any questions you guys have. I'd love to answer them at our next Q&A. Thank you guys.